ẹni tí ò dé kó ìrìn ẹkù kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ẹni ò dé kó ìrìn ẹkù kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kó ìrìn ẹkù kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ẹni ò dé kó ìrìn ẹkù kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ọ̀pọ̀ ò bá dé kó ìrìn ẹkù kan.
The governor at the press briefing said he had met with the traditional rulers in the state as well as the local government chairman on the need for a collaborative effort in getting information across to every nook and cranny of the state. He also spoke on the imposed curfew as the state moves towards easing the lockdown.
As we move into the gradual unlocking, there's a curfew for Infectious state, which I did mention to them is from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on a daily basis. And it's important for them to take this message back home, because some of our citizens, they've never witnessed or understand what a curfew is. So that has to be explained to them, and they have to take it back to their community. So from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, all movements in Lagos are prohibited except for people on essential services. Essential services are agro products, petroleum products, relief materials, food materials, and all the likes. Those are the only ones that are exempted.
Furthermore, the governor made amendments to the resumption of civil servants to work.
We actually want to measure how people reflect and react to the unlocking. And even from Tuesday, it's only officers from grade level 15 and above have the express permission to come to work. It's only grade levels 15 and above have the express permission to come to work. All other officers that might be required, that might be critical to the service, they will be informed by the accounting officers that they are required.
On the markets and open stores, he said they would have alternate days of operation.
Regarding the markets and the open stores, I had mentioned that they will be allowed to open from the hours of 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. But the alteration we are making to that now is that the markets are going to be opening on alternate days. And what do I mean? All the food market and stores will be permitted to only open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'll repeat, food markets will be open only on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and Saturdays from the hours of 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. However, other markets that are selling building materials, spare parts, non-food markets will be open on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and Fridays.
And for the eateries, he said there has been an extension of time for the Ramadan period, but for takeaways, and that all places of worship remain closed. The same goes for schools at all levels, but advised for them to engage in online learning.
So for eateries, for restaurants who are strictly doing takeaways and order, because of the Ramadan period we are in, we want to give that waiver for them to still be open till 7 p.m. so that people can still make their breaking of fast order from them, and thereafter they can go home. Schools are still closed. Private schools, public schools, primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions, they all remain closed. However, we are aware that there are some online classes that are taking place with some schools. We encourage people to have very useful dialogue between the parents and the school authority.
The federal government had said the lockdown would be eased in Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun states.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated 118-bed isolation and treatment center located within the premises of Bagada General Hospital for management of COVID-19 cases. Within the 3-floor isolation and treatment facility are dedicated intensive care isolation units, ventilators, monitors, respirators, mobile S3, ultrasound, oxygen, amongst other ultra-modern medical equipment.
To the glory of God, we also commissioned...
Speaking at the unveiling, Governor Sanwo-Olu said an existing facility within the Gbagada General Hospital complex, which was not in use, was converted to the 118-bed biosecurity complaint isolation and treatment facility after an intensive renovation and upgrade was carried out. He added that the facility was revamped and converted to an isolation and treatment center in order to provide additional capacity to already existing isolation centers in the state.
I must say, it's first class, is international. It has all of the trappings of a critical care unit. And I must also confirm that the contractors that have done this work have done a very, very excellent work. And I'm indeed very happy and I want to commend them. We'll also have independent power supply in this facility. We have an IPP, we have generator sets also to ensure that we have uninterrupted power.
Mr. Governor used the occasion to celebrate frontline health workers and other allied professionals who are in the forefront of COVID-19 battle, likening them to unsung heroes of the 2020 May Day celebration.
Everybody that is a health worker, everybody that is a frontline worker in both public and private sector are the ones we are celebrating today. All of the doctors, the nurses, the domestic, the pharmacist, the laboratory technician, the psychosocial givers, all of them, all of the PSP workers, the street sweepers, the cleaners that are taking the medical waste out, you know, all of our frontline fire station men, emergency men, they are the real celebrants for this year's May Day celebration. And I think it's important that we celebrate them, and it's important that we make mention, not thank them enough.
The governor also reassured residents of the state's commitment and readiness to admitting more confirmed COVID-19 cases and discharged them after successful management. It began in Wuhan, but in no time at all, the world is locked down. Human activities curtailed, jobs lost or on the line. The virus is raging with intense ferocity. The global death toll is staggering, and the rate of infections on the rise. The invisible enemy came like a thief in the night. Many knew that Lagos will not be spared. Its population size of 24 million, the small landmass, porous borders made the city fair game.
Today, we have a special mission to have a first-hand interaction with COVID-19 patients and their caregivers. And our destination is the Infectious Disease Hospital, Yaba. Come with us. We are excited and at the same time apprehensive of going to the front line of the battle against the coronavirus pandemic. Are you asking why we have to do this? To keep you informed.
After questioning and confirmation, we were cleared at the first and second entrances. This is the Infectious Disease Hospital, Yaba. Currently, over 100 active cases of COVID-19 are here. These inscriptions: stay strong, don't panic, welcome us at the entrance of the biosecurity unit of the hospital. This stop sign reminds us of the risk to our health and the possibility of contracting the virus if we wander beyond this area unprotected. Security became tighter. My cameraman and I knew the risks, but it was a story I needed to tell. We were picked up from this point to see the man who has been leading the charge in the battle to contain COVID-19. Akin Abayomi is a professor of medicine specializing in blood diseases and biosecurity.
Good afternoon, sir.
Before I was granted permission, he briefed me on the do's and don'ts of this battlefield. But his time is in short supply. He is inundated with calls and briefings from healthcare professionals. As we wait, we saw how busy this area is. It's a flurry of activity with ambulances evacuating patients to and from different areas of the state. Yaba remains the nerve center of COVID-19 response. No other diseases are treated here. The coronavirus pandemic is the first and only priority of this facility. For Professor Abayomi, this is his ground zero, his war zone.
If you are at war and you send your soldiers to the front line, the probability of being hit by a bullet is high. So we are doctors. We are at the front line. That's what we're trained for. And we're trained to protect ourselves at the same time to look after patients. So, but you're at the battlefront and you're in an environment where everybody around you has COVID. So the chances of you getting infection are definitely there.
The healthcare workers have put every fiber of their being into rendering selfless service. I asked, what do they get in return as angels of mercy?
Some of them live far away, so we've acquired accommodation in the vicinity. We have transport, a lot of logistics. So they finish their shift, they go into a hotel, they rest, they eat, and when it's time to come back to work. It also protects their family members as well. I don't think that any healthcare professional who is working here in the front line is complaining, because it's a hazard allowance. And Mr. Governor is not joking with this situation. Mr. Governor is in complete control of the entire structure, and the communication is moving back and forth at incredible speeds. Decisions are made almost instantaneously, and people are awake all night communicating.
This is Ward B, one of the male isolation wards. Through this window, we were able to see that treatment is ongoing. We sought and obtained the consent of 2 active patients to speak with us and be televised.
We're at least 5 meters away here, so there's no risk whatsoever to you.
First was this patient who contracted the virus at a party.
You see people who travel go abroad before? How you take get the virus?
Well, I don't one day I go birthday.
This 88-year-old man is a former radiologist. His medical background helped him notice symptoms of COVID-19. He presented himself early despite his advanced age.
They came to meet me from the house. Tested.
Do you have any travel history? How did you contract the virus?
I went to the hospital.
So what is advice for people who still say COVID-19 is not real?
Very, very real. And we want to listen to all the advice. Self-isolate as much as possible and obey all the rules. Maintain social distance. But it's not a death sentence.
Sir, do you give us permission to show this on television?
If people will learn right and obey what the government is saying, self-isolate, keep your distance. The only way.
This was where the index case was admitted. The Italian national, who has since recovered and donated his plasma to aid research that will inch towards finding a vaccine for the novel coronavirus.
Barely 9 weeks ago, there was only one occupant of this particular isolation center, and that was the index case. Today, I'm told that this place is almost filled to the brim with newly infected people.
Out of 500 people tested for COVID-19, 70 to 80 results are positive in Lagos State daily. This is the biobank, where molecular testing is done.
This biobank was inaugurated in October 2018 after the 2014 Ebola virus experience in Lagos State. It is meant to ensure effective management of infectious diseases in Lagos State. Today, it is very relevant amidst the coronavirus pandemic.
The health commissioner took me on a tour of the facilities here.
We have very good testing capacity in Lagos. We had learned from Ebola. We didn't stop after Ebola. We knew that Lagos came close to a very disastrous situation. And we flattened the curve from the word go. Flattening the curve allows the medical infrastructure to develop itself and to slow down the process. If we start seeing thousands of cases a day, we're going to be overwhelmed. So Lagos has been very offensive.
Other isolation centers are being set up as temporary and permanent facilities. Workers are busy, keen to deliver them on time. This is the intensive care unit of COVID-19 patients. Not yet operational as at the time of this visit, but ready to receive patients in critical condition who may need a lifeline to breathe with the help of ventilators. I met trained doctors who will be hard at work here. It is mandatory for them to be clad in protective gear. This is a HEPA care system, and its main function is to filter and purify the air that health personnel will be breathing. It is an extra level of biosafety for the staff. Some of the frontline health workers told me about their experiences.
For the past 1 or 2 weeks, we began to have critical patients, especially the elderly ones. It's important that if you have the virus, you should be treated. Some of them come in, they don't even have symptoms at all. Yes, but they have the virus, they're positive. So those are the ones you have to cancel often.
We wear a full body PPE. We wear the gown, glove, mask, face shield. When we get there, we assure them, we give them their medications, do their vital signs, and listen to their complaints sometimes if they have. They may be vomiting, they may have headache, things like that. So we just, if the doctor may have gone and they may not have the complaint then. So if they have any complaint, they can complain to us.
The cure for the virus is your immune system. Your immunity is your weapon. And what we're doing is just helping your immune system overcome the virus. And once your immune system overcomes the virus, it clears it out of your system. So that's when we say that you have been cleared of the virus. There is no treatment. So if you've caught COVID before and you've recovered, your immune system is now on high alert. If it sees COVID again, it will be very difficult for that COVID to reinfect that person because the immune system is already primed to attack COVID anytime you get re-exposed to it. It's not impossible that you can get reinfected, but it goes against the laws of immunology and immunity.
Ajayi Theophilus is in charge of the decontamination of the houses of evacuated patients. He is used to disinfecting himself.
We've done it quite a lot. The Lasambos are responsible for evacuation of victims, and apart from that, we go to hospitals and so many houses to ensure appropriate decontamination so that the infections are not spread.
It has been a grueling time for health workers, and on the bad days, they look forward to morale boosters. They told me how the good tidings and kind gestures from wishes gingers them to give their all. One such day was the 12th of April, Easter Sunday, where the Lagos State government surprised frontline health workers with music here and at the Onikon Isolation Center.
For the first time in almost all my career, the amount of appreciation we get, we are grateful.
There's no how, we are humans. It boosts our courage, it boosts our ego, and we are encouraged to do more.
Out of curiosity, I asked intimate questions about their spouses and how they maintain a work-life balance.
Yes, I do. Yes. Yes.
It's been a while, and it's because I've not gone home for about a month now, so you can do the maths.
I get home at night and my children come and give me a big hug, and I have my bath and we eat together, and then Mr. Governor calls me at midnight, and then I have some interactions with Mr. Governor. He encourages me and I encourage him.
I can assure you that we will surely overcome this pandemic and will emerge stronger and more determined to transform the life of our citizens in Lagos, and by extension, our country, Nigeria.
That was a day at this high-level biosecurity facility, but there are protocols we must adhere to as part of the measures in place to contain the community transmission of COVID-19.
I'm ready.